Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble dungeon guide video, I'm going to take a look at Gnomeregan on a Cenarion week. So the hardest dungeon and the weakest family. But fear not, I'm here to guide you through this, and in this video I'm going to show you comps for Cenarius and for Ysera. First, let's take a quick look at the Gnomeregan dungeon mechanics. The first boss, Crowd Pummeler, melee cannon attacks and knock player minis off the platform, and yeah, they do. However, flying minis, when they get knocked off the platform, they can just fly back. When ground minis get knocked off the platform, even in some of these gaps, they're just gone. So the main plan for this one is to take this meeting stone and then start attacking it from both sides. With ranged units, Chimera, I suppose, is the best one. Chimera can just do so many things, and it can also recover from being knocked back, but any ranged units really can handle it if you send them from both sides so that the boss can't knock them all down quickly enough. Then there's also these protective devices: Gnomish Harm Prevention Belt, limited time protection, known to attract gnomes if left sitting too long. So these give the minis temporary shield, but also if they're here for a while, then a safe pilot will spawn and from the boss's side and grab them and then start attacking you. So you want to pick these up when you have time to use that, but the main thing is to get this stone and get these attacks from two sides going. The second boss, Electrocutioner 6000, is the most annoying and most difficult boss in all of the dungeons in this game, because you're just going to be swarmed by so many minis. It has rocket towers, so you can't outrange rocket towers, and these rocket towers also have this kind of mist around them that deals elemental damage to your minis. The boss itself deals a whole bunch of elemental damage, so you'd kind of want to tank it with something resistant. Even a Quillbore will do, but also Fire Elemental used to be pretty sweet when it could also tank the rocket towers, but nowadays it doesn't do that nearly as effectively. So you need something to take the rocket towers. Sappers with rocket boots is the best option. If they don't have rocket boots, then at least one of the sappers is going to die, because slow sappers just are not fast enough to get underneath of the rocket. But rocket boot sappers, even if they're one-on-one against tower, they will be able to hit the tower. Gargoyle is another fine one. It's also armored, so it does a pretty good job here. If you don't have rocket boots on your sappers, you probably want to use a gargoyle. And once you get both towers, you really have to get some towers here. Then you want to attack the boss and use a resistant tank to turn the boss around and then get some damage on it from behind. For example, Chimera can be very strong, but resistant tanks are the key to getting to the boss. And if you win the second map, you have basically won the dungeon, because Mekgineer Thermaplugg is not much of a boss. Control switches to summon walking bombs for big damage. Thermaplugg has this shield here, so Thermaplugg takes very little damage otherwise, but there will be walking bombs coming over here or coming over here, depending on who is going to break through these switches. Switches cannot be claimed by flying, so you can claim them with ground troops and you can claim them with spells. You're just trying to keep minis on both sides of the map at all times, so that whenever these spawn, you get to destroy them immediately. So just go back and forth and always send miners whenever possible, because there's plenty of gold here to mine and it's all very close to your base. And yeah, Thermaplugg is just a game of whack-a-mole basically, and then that's Gnomeregan. So this is my army for Cenarius. I've off-slotted the minis in order to make it a little bit more difficult, but you do need to off-slot some minis here, because there are not that many great Cenarion minis for this dungeon. So I'm typically off-slotting the Pyromancer and I'm off-slotting the Quillbore here. Quillbore is still useful as a tank, even though it has some fewer levels, and Pyromancer, because of the Pyroblast talent, it's still able to get into action and just deal a lot of damage at the start. So with this army, I'm going to, just on the first boss, going to go from one side, going to come in from other side, have some footmen, split footmen also in order to tank, and just whittle down the boss and drop some wellbacks on it as well. Then on the second boss, footmen are going to do some tanking for me, and then I can use Pyromancer, I can use Witch Doctor to deal some damage. I have sappers who are going to take some towers. If your sappers are only one level below the tower, they can destroy a tower on their own and it's going to be super easy. Here my sappers were 2 levels below the tower, so they can't take the tower down alone, and it makes it a lot more harder. But I have wellbacks that I can drop. After sappers have blown up, then wellbacks can be thrown over there and they will take care of the tower. And then you try to grab the towers, and then you try to get an assault in, and Quillbore can tank the boss a little bit while your minis are trying to deal some damage. And then the final boss is just left, right, left, right, left, right. Just send stuff out there. Again, footmen can split push, and that's going to be it. So that's Cenarius, and I have kind of the same idea for Ysera. Except that instead of footman, I have a bog beast here, so I only need to off-slot 1 mini, so I can typically off-slot the quillbore here, so I can get full power from the pyromancer. Even lower cost, because typically when I play with Ysera, I want to make the deck as low cost as possible, so I can cycle through and get those Ysera minis, because the Ysera minis are really strong nowadays. So you're just playing basically the same idea as with Cenarius, but a little bit more heavier cycle and making a bit more use of the Ysera minis to ensure the victory. And this is what it all looks like in action. So here we go, Gnomeregan, Cenarius, and let's go. I want to take that meeting stone, and then I want to start sending range minis from one side, from another, and then drop some Welvex also on the boss. So that's my overall plan. Let's see how well I'm going to be able to execute on that. So we got a pretty decent start here. The Welvex did wonderful job there. Only the bear remains, but now of course the targeting reticle is going to reach your minis at around this point, and then we'll see if any survive. Actually all footmen survived. That was spectacular. That I don't think that happens very often. But either way, now I have a whole bunch of footmen around. I have Cenarius. I'm choosing to send the footmen here through this left side now, because I figured that I need to press here, because this is where the enemy minis are, and I want to get some fight going against those. Although then again, now I managed to get everything blown up, so I probably should have split the footmen after all. Either way, I have control of the stone, and this should be fine. I messed up there too. I thought that the sappers would be able to pick up the shield, but instead the safe pilot managed to grab it, so I lost the sappers too. But I got such a great start here that a couple of mistakes won't make too much of a difference. Now I just need to get my footmen back in. I'm a little late. Well, but it's okay. The first boss is just the warm-up anyway, so let's warm up. Footmen going into combat against the bear and friends. Base can tank a little bit. Base can typically fight against individual minis that come against it, except if they're Mekgineer. A single Mekgineer can kill your base. Other than that, base should be fine against one mini. But they're like, we had Harvest Golem plus Safe Pilot, and that would be a little bit much. But now we're getting back into control. We have this Treant army. I'm picking up the shield there. I'm trying to be a little bit defensive now, because I had such a bad mid game, I suppose. Because I mean the start was great. Nothing wrong with the start. I'm trying to get Cenarius out there to kill that Griffin Rider, and it barely manages to do that. But barely is good enough. Dies to the next Griffin Rider, sadly. I'm dropping some more stuff on the boss. I dropped the quillbore to kill the chickens. And I probably want to try to kill the Griffin Rider here, which I managed to do, and hopefully I can pick up the shield. No, go board pick up the shield. Well, I guess this is then a sample of. You can still do this boss even if you don't play too well, I guess. Anyway, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be totally fine. Now here I realized that, okay, Safe Pilot's going to die, but that Harvest Golem, my base is solo, that Harvest Golem could be a problem. So now I'm just going to raise that Harvest Golem. The Harvest Golem is going to take a while before it reaches my base, so I'm just going to send out stuff in an attempt to kill the boss before my base goes down. And boom, there it goes. Then we're up against the real boss of the dungeon, and that is the Electrocutioner. And here I want to take some towers. My sappers, as you can see, they are 2 levels below the tower, which means that they can't kill a tower. But sappers, followed by some Welpex, timed them so that they will kill the gnome, and that worked really beautifully. And then I'm trying to defend in the middle. I can sometimes just start defending in the middle if I don't have sappers right in my opening hand, but now I had such a great opportunity with those sappers that I just wanted to take that, and that opportunity then caused the AI to play the troll on that side, and then the troll died, so things are looking really beautiful now. And look at that. Another set of sappers, they don't kill the tower, then spiderlings arrive, but Welpex, boom, spiderlings gone. So another huge value trade for me. So this is looking really super good right now. Absolutely perfect start, but you'd have to realize that in this particular fight, even if you get a great start, even if you have both of the towers, the AI has so much power that you can actually lose 2 towers. It's totally possible to lose 2 towers in this one. But look how beautiful it is when the 2 towers are smashing some of those minis in the middle. Trying to send something out there through mid. Then let's try to make some treants. It's a little bit slow, I only made 1 treant. Either way. Billboard to tank. And Footman will get the chest for me. Getting those chests in the middle also really good, because that's going to give you some high quality advantage. And getting some whelps out there. So now I'm just trying to overwhelm the boss. I have whelps, I have footmen, but the boss is having none of that. The boss fights back. Well, we got the boss to half health. If I can make another push that's as strong as that one, then we have won. I'm protecting the weaker tower now. I don't want that harvest golem anywhere near my tower. And then I'm actually trying to send some... And that was poorly timed because of the Lepinomes. I was trying to send some sappers also to hit at the boss. Now I would desperately need... Ouch, I lost the chest. So now a little bit of weaker things, but boss health is very low. And that means that I can send sappers, I can send whelpegs, I can distract with the quillbore. I don't... But now the spiderlings... No. But still had enough. Phew. And one more time with the feel against Mekgineer Thermaplugg. So this is just whack-a-mole. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Keep presence all over the map and take those switches. Probably my least favorite map in the entire game, design-wise. Because it's just so deadly boring. But it is what it is. So we're going to go forward and we're going to grab some amp switches. There's really not that many shortcuts in this one. Like at one point when Anubarak was still overpowered, you could just poison the boss so much that it died. It has 85% damage reduction, which means that you're still able to get some damage in. It also doesn't reduce execute damage, but it is a boss, so it already takes limited amount of damage from execute. So there would be some tools that you could bring and you could use to make this go a little bit faster, but because you need every single resource that's available to you to beat the Electrocutioner, the second boss, then that means that you make do with whatever you happen to have at this boss, because you're going to win anyway. I have lost some individual fights against this boss sometimes, but I've never lost a full series. And the way the boss plays differs a little bit depending on its opening hand. As you can see there, for example, right now 0 Molten Giants have been played, and sometimes the boss just wants to play a lot of Molten Giants. So it has like this Molten Giant type of cycle, then it has this Prowler type of cycle, depending on what the opening hand of the boss is. This boss opens with a lot of gold, so then it starts to play stuff immediately, and then it just depends on what it has in its opening hand, what sort of cycle it's going to end up into. Yeah, not much else to mention. Just get minis on all sides and remember to mine. Always keep mining. Mining is such an important part of this one. I should have already sent that miner now that I mention it. I was a little bit slow in doing so. But there's enough bombs going in anyway already, so boom, and the boss is down. So here we go, Gnomeregan with Ysera. Let's go here with a lower curve, so I really just want to get a lot of Ysera minis out there. Ysera minis are really strong, I want to be playing a lot of them. I want to use them to win. And let's see how it goes. Here we go, we're getting started. Getting an Ysera Drake out there. I would need to get that innovate. Yes. It's faster income. That's beautiful. Getting control of the stone. I want to keep control of that stone. I'm also sending a Quillbore. just cycling through the user stuff. I was a little hesitant there to play the kobold because I thought that maybe the harvest column is going to kill the kobold. But now that we managed to get through that, everything looks beautiful. And some of those beautiful unbound Ysera whelps coming in as well. Alright, so far so good. So we're pushing. I want to get rid of that Griffin Rider. There we go, Griffin Rider's dead. Trying to send stuff out there. Just cycling through the deck a little bit. Keeping Ysera occupied. Now there's a bit of a problem with the chickens. Yeah, I'm going to lose the stone. Messed up a little bit with the chickens there. Should not have allowed them to get the shield like that. Be that as it may. And as you notice, many chickens got the shield. And that's because the shield spawned when the chickens were on top of it. If it was already there, then only the first chicken would have gotten the shield. That's how those shields work. Everyone who touches it at the same time gets it. Oh, there I messed up again. I should have had a mini holding the stone for me, so that I wouldn't lose the stone and wouldn't lose all the time associated with the stone. And sending out some sappers just to pick up the shield there. Or Gnomish protection belt. Gnomish harm protection belt, I think is the official name of that. Anyway, Ysera minis coming in from the left, coming in from the right. Some Ysera drakes. They're blasting, and look at the damage output of the Ysera drake. That's beautiful too, and boom, this boss is dead. And then the real boss, the Electrocutioner. But I have Ysera, and that means that I have unbound whelps with poison that I can drop on top of that boss. But at the start, we're trying to tank the middle a little bit. We're trying to grab a tower if I can. I was able to grab a tower. That's nice because that relieves some of the pressure from the middle. There won't be such an aggressive push through the middle now. Just trying to find a space to play the unbound whelps, but I just couldn't. Luckily, I got the tower up, and the tower helped me defend. And now that we're in this position, we have a tower. We're fighting for the middle. That means that it's time to send for the other tower. If my sappers were one level higher, that would like save 3 gold per tower. That would be actually really, really huge. So if you're only 1 level below the mission, then that's going to be so much easier. Now I just can't hold on to the chest with those. That would have required a ground mini. I placed that a little bit too far ahead because now it got the attention of the Electrocutioner, which I did not want. But at least I have both of the towers, and we're fighting for the middle. And fighting for the middle is very comfortable. Towers are supporting me, fighting for the middle, and towers are not being threatened. So I'm really, really happy to just try to push middle for now, and then move to pushing the sides when needed. So here Drake gets Drake against Spiderlings. That is beautiful. So now, because all of the damage from the Electrocutioner is elemental, then Bogbeast is pretty good at tanking it. Although I should have positioned the Quillboar there a little bit earlier. Yeah. Also managed to lose the chest in the middle. But it's okay, it's okay. We can recover from this, I'm positive. I'm going to sleep the dwarf so that it stops healing the bear. And we managed to make it through there, which was nice. A little bit of distraction at the boss. This time the distraction a little bit more timely. Although the troll came in. And that was unpleasant. But we're getting some damage into the boss. So far things are fine. I need a little bit of something in order to survive this still. Okay, so far so good. Towers are doing such a beautiful work. Beautiful job there in the middle. Although the right tower is almost dead. So either I need to defend it very heavily, or I need to figure out a way to get a good assault into the boss. In which case I can just abandon the tower. Those Mekgineer bears, they're just so hard to kill. Oh boy. But finally getting through that. Now there is the troll. I wonder if I should do something about the troll, but I spotted an opportunity to use the quill boar plus the Ysera eggs plus the regular eggs to get a sudden ambush on the boss. Tons of damage and boom, it just goes down. And one final fight against Mekgineer Thermaplugg. Not much of a fight really. I mean, we're just going to run over this Mekgineer by putting minis on one side, putting minis on the other side, and so on and so forth. This time Mekgineer started with a Molten Giant in hand, and thereby decided that it will be time to do some Molten Giant action. But I mean, I'm fine with that too. I have the Ysera minis, I have the Wellbacks, excellent tools against Molten Giant. Flying minis cannot claim the switches, so you have to use ground minis or spells to claim the switches, but that's totally fine. You can still use flying minis, especially cheap flying minis, to counter some of the boss's minis, and then you will still have enough gold left to play ground minis to actually claim the switches. That's what we're doing here. Fighting on one side, fighting on the other. And remember the mine as well. Well, lost the fight on that one. The Prowler was a little bit too fast, but we managed to get another one there, and we managed to get a couple from the left, so it's all good. Now a Molten Giant appears. I want to send a tank because I don't want the Molten Giant to be hitting my base, and I don't want it to be hitting on the switches if I can avoid that. Oh no, I have a tank out there, and look at the damage from the Ysera Drake. It's just so much poison, so much. It's wonderful, even though it can't claim switches. Alright, so here we go. One side, then the other, one side, then the other. Got a couple of switches. Boss gets some as well, but as you can see, we have a huge lead, so all we need to do is keep doing the same thing over and over until victory. Well, that's the story. There we go again. Trying to claim some of these. I slept the safe pilot so it didn't get to blow up the switch. Didn't really matter, but stuff that you can do with Ysera. Right, fighting a little bit more. Just need another switch from somewhere and we're good to go. Now that would be my switch. Maybe. Sending the doctor. The switch doctor. And victory. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.